Burke's on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says, "Hey dude, you too must be from Marin." Marin County's A-OK, from Tam to Stinson all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day. The Dennis, Dylan, and indelible.
Duffy, we're going.
Welcome to the Run TMC podcast. That is the Run the Marin County podcast, a podcast about basketball in Marin County. This morning, we are in Marin County. In fact, we are at San Domenico in their lovely gym. We just finished a workout. With me, I have Dave Levine, friend and co-host, and special guest who will be silent but present, friend of the podcast, season 1, episode 2 guest, Nooch, John Granucci.
Hi, Johnny.
Fellas.
Yeah, John is not mic'd up, so he's just going to smile and look pretty. Duff, good to see you. Good to get some shots up. We're both in the midst of our coaching season, so we both needed to get a little workout, blow off some steam, and that was nice.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about it, Dave, but our teams have accounted for 3 losses in the last 48 hours or so.
Yeah, thanks for not talking about it. Coaching basketball is fun and rewarding, but sometimes you don't win. And when you're competitive, that's hard, but it's been great. It's fun. We're early in the season. We've been playing, I know both your team and my team, we've been playing some really good teams. You guys played University. We played Bishop O'Dowd and Justin Siena. So we'll be fine, but it was good to blow off some steam this morning with some shots.
You know what they say, Dave? Winning isn't everything. It is the only thing. So let's get back to it.
And with that,
talk to me about our shooting drills this morning, Dave. We had a good time. We broke a sweat. We got up a lot of shots, some competitive shooting, some running.
it was great. A little mix of one of the drills that we did to get loose this morning was we broke up into teams and we're going kind of the full court on the side hoops, and we would dribble down. And you had the choice. You could shoot a 3 for 3 points. You could shoot a mid-range shot for 2 points, or you could shoot a layup for 1 point. And you go down and back, and then your partner goes, and you're going against another team, and it's the first team to 30. So if you want to hoist threes and go for broke, you can do that. If you want to just take layups and get kind of singles and doubles, you can do that. So it's a fun kind of strategy drill, and it balances out different shots in your bag. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think my strategy in that is on the way down, shoot a mid-range.
Yep.
Hope I make it at 2 points. If I make it, then shoot a 3 coming back the other way. But if I miss it, go for either 2 or 1, because you don't want to have a 0-4 in terms of points down and back, both for yourself, but also for your teammate.
It is interesting now that we're in high school season, and I'm talking in general, not just specifically about my team or your team, Duff, but the lost art of the mid-range, I'm still seeing that. And players have mid-range available to them, and they either opt to shoot a 3 or try to get all the way to the rim and do some hero or other drill that they've seen on Instagram or other move that they've seen on Instagram, instead of just coming to a nice 1-2 stop, shooting a 15-footer.
All right. Well, our first shooting contest of the morning was 10s. Some may know it as 7s. And John Granucci said to us, why are we shooting mid-range? Because we wanted to warm up shooting the mid-range. And he has a fair point, because I don't know about you, Dave, but we really discourage the mid-range in our team. We have certain guys that are allowed to shoot certain mid-ranges, but it has to be their shot at an area of the paint that they own. And we're hoping to shoot less than 5 mid-range a game.
I think an important factor in the mid-range is it a contested shot or not?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So if you have a wide open mid-range shot, I think that's a good shot. If it's a contested, if it's a hard 2, as they say, less exciting than an open 3.
But if you're open for the mid-range, maybe you're drawing a defender, probably still a better shot you could get. If you've gotten open in mid-range, maybe you can get all the way to the hoop.
Sure.
Or you kick out for a 3.
College and pro, they agree with you. The analytics show it's an inefficient shot. Speaking of inefficient shots, I'm going to put John Granucci on the spot. John, will you tell the story of your brother reffing?
Yes, my brother David Granucci runs Premier 707 in Napa. He was telling me a story about, I think, a first or second grade scrimmage he was refereeing, and one of the young players decided to throw a 10 or 15 footer, kind of fading back looking in the opposite direction, kind of over the shoulder shot. And before the ball was even decided if it was going in or not, he blew the whistle and called it a shot that we don't shoot on the basketball court. And it was the opposing team ball. So I thought it was a nice lesson for all the players involved on what is a good shot and what is not a good shot.
The shot was disallowed on account of poor decision making.
I love that. So the referee, our friend Dave Granucci, just couldn't stand it. He's like, illegal shot. That is, fans, listeners, that is not a real foul or penalty in basketball, but I love that story.
Well, trying to maybe get into Coach's head a little bit, he probably was thinking, I'm just going to surmise, he's either thinking, I'm walking out of here, I'm done with this, whole shebang, or I'm calling this an illegal shot.
Yes.
Because this is just not how I'm going to spend my day if I'm on a basketball court. So good for you, Dave. And shout out to Coach Granucci. We still run the Granucci drill that he introduced last year after the podcast, probably 2 or 3 times a week. Great closeout drill, great drill for attacking a closeout as well as performing a closeout defensively.
So that's a nice segue. We're going to be efficient with our intro today. That's a great segue into introducing our guest, because our guest is Paul Trevor, this was a really, really fun interview. One of our favorites, a legend, and Dave Granucci, very much a part of the Paul Trevor universe and coaching tree. Trev is a 25 plus year college coach, has had a ton of success at the Division II level, coached Division I for a bit at USF, is a Marin guy, grew up, we talk about his background in the interview, but is a Drake grad. Actually, Duffy, you saw his name on the wall in the Archie Williams gym, although there's question as to whether that was for basketball, or he didn't even bring this up in our interview, but John Granucci tells us Paul Trevor was an unbelievable soccer player. So maybe he was player of the year in soccer.
Definitely up on the wall. As to which sport, we'll have to check on that very soon, Dave. But yeah, I just learned this morning that he was a great soccer player.
Yeah.
And we can once again sort of bemoan the fact that players cannot play both those sports anymore, because I was a soccer and basketball player, and a lot of our friends play both. Can't do it anymore.
Very sad that they're at the same season. But this discussion with Trev was great. So if you're a basketball nerd and you like to get into the X's and O's, we do that. But it's also a really fun story about just a guy who lives life with energy and enthusiasm and passion. And he was not, as he'll tell you, he was not the best athlete. He was not, the best, the top student in his class. He succeeded in life and continues to succeed in life through passion, energy, hard work, enthusiasm, and being authentically himself. And he's someone who you meet him, you never forget him. He had a huge impact on me as a kid, and I talk about this in our interview. I met him at Pirate Camp. He was my coach. I still have the evaluation he wrote me when I was, 12 years old. Trev is an incredible guy, and he's been an amazing coach and shaped a lot of lives through just energy and passion.
So let me guess, the evaluation said something along the lines of, really love your motor and your athleticism, Dave, but what I need from you is setting more screens.
Set more screens, start a podcast, just, stop shooting the ball.
Don't overthink. Don't
overthink it.
Well, one thing also to mention, Dave, before we jump into the interview, Trev was very honest and open about health challenges.
Yeah.
And just really amazing to me, the energy and optimism he brought, much like Melissa Boyle, but talking about, being diagnosed with a blood cancer or multiple myeloma. That's no joke. He coached through a season, probably with very low blood levels, anemic, and he made it through. I mean, that in and of itself, I think, is remarkable. And I just loved his attitude in terms of how he talked about it and how he handled it with his players and his team, and just the optimism that he is reflecting, upon the situation. And that just kind of emanated out of the interview and hopefully out to listeners as well.
So of all people, I mean, Trev is the guy that just, like somebody once told me, there are people who give energy when they walk into a room, and there are people who kind of suck energy.
Right.
And Trev is someone, he walks in the room and he just gives energy. He brings life to a room. Yeah. And so when you think about the fact that he was going through this multiple myeloma, challenges. He's going through chemo. His energy level was not where it normally was. And you think about his players who, want to play for him because of that energy. That must have been really hard for them. And for him, the strength to go through it and continue to coach says a lot about him. And now he's on the back side of it. Knock on wood. He said he's 95% back. He's doing well. We did a video podcast with him. He looked great. He had just come from practice. I mean, he's good. And you'll hear him. He's got the same energy back, but that must have been a really challenging time for him. But if anybody can do it, Paul Trevor can.
All right, Dave, we're going to jump into it. But first, what time do you have?
Is it sponsor time?
It's sponsor time. We want to thank our sponsors, The Hub, as well as Batiste Rum, Jeff Skaggs and San Domenico Camps.
Yeah.
And a reminder, we have sponsor packages. We've got the layup, which is the basic package, Dave, right?
Sure.
You get a mention, just like those sponsors just got. You got the mid-range, which we know is on its way out and probably will become completely irrelevant, just like this podcast is on its way to being.
Duffy, unlike in the game of basketball, the mid-range, the analytics show the mid-range is a great value for a sponsor.
It's the best value for sure. It's the best value.
Yes.
Our Black Friday sale is still ongoing, Dave.
Yes.
And then we have what we call it, the From Deep
Beyond the Arc.
Beyond the Arc. We're really looking for that premier sponsor to take us through the rest of season 2. So reach out. You can hit us up on Instagram. You can email us at the runtmcpodcast@gmail.com. You can check out our website. There's information on the website on sponsorship. And we are just looking for the next generation of sponsor leaders to take us forward with the podcast, Dave.
And you can see there's a beautiful banner in the Archie Williams gym.
There is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jet Russell, for putting
Russell.
it up. And sorry that the QR code, it works close up. So if you have a ladder, you can use the QR code if in the Archie gym. But if you're in the stands, I'm afraid they'll just have to look us up on the web.
That's
Fortunately,
right.
Just go to Apple Podcasts, Run TMC Podcast.
You'll find us. All right. Well, let's get to this interview. I hope you enjoy it. Paul Trevor's an amazing guy. We can't thank him enough for being on this podcast. For him to take the time out of the season. He was in the middle of games when we interviewed him. Just such a great human, and we hope you enjoy it.
Dave, I'm going to stop you before we go forward, just to make mention, as we're talking about Marin County players who became coaches at the D1 level, we did have a matchup between Prib and Lavin just a week or so ago.
True. Yep.
So Idaho went down to San Diego, and apparently it was a very close game. San Diego got the win 68-61, I believe, about 7-point win. So both those teams are kind of scuffling just a little bit. They have a couple wins, a few more losses, but just kind of cool to see a Marin County battle of coaches like that at a D1 level.
And Paul Trevor, we talk about this, is the guy who gave Prib his first college coaching job. He convinced Alex to leave TAM and come and coach with Trev at San Francisco State, and that started Prib's college coaching career. So you'll hear that story in a couple minutes.
Thank you to friend John.
Thank
for
you, Johnny.
being here. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
All right, we're going. Paul Trevor, great to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you also.
Trev, we'll do a quick intro on you, okay? And then you chime in, you tell me what I got wrong, and we want to let Trev cook here. This is a treat. Trev, I'll tell you, this is not a lie. When Duff and I started this podcast a year or so ago, we were having coffee in San Anselmo, and we were like, all right, let's have a wish list, a dream list of guests that we could have on this pod. And you were one of the first names that we had on. We had Mike Fulton, Buck Chavez. We still haven't gotten Bucky, but
Love those guys.
Brett Devani, Jonas Honick, these great names. And you were top of mind, just not only because of your amazing coaching career, which we're going to get into, but also just your personality, enthusiasm, energy. So really, really glad to have you.
Dave, I was a little hurt. I thought you guys forgot about me, and I love Marin. I love Marin sports. And I was like, gosh, I follow your podcast. I'm on Facebook. I see you guys. I was like crushed. I was like, someday. I was literally like, someday.
Maybe, Trev. You know what? It's only been 25 years of coaching. You need a few more years and maybe you'll make the cut.
Yeah, I'm going to get on that.
Yeah. All right. So real quick. So Trev grew up Fairfax. True?
Fairfax. Yeah. Oak Manor.
Oak Manor, a Drake grad. What year were you at Drake? I was thinking 88. Is that right?
Graduated in 87.
Okay, 87. Played for Pete, right? Played for Pete Hayward.
Great coach.
So you were on some really good teams. We're going to get into your Drake experience. And by the way, so can we just agree? It's Archie Williams. I know we're gonna reference it as Drake because that was the name when you were there. But it's obviously we're talking about Archie Williams. Played for some really good teams, and you were in kind of that post 82 legendary team aura, right? So that the basking glow of that team emanated around Drake basketball for many years. And that was when I first met you at Pirate Camp. You were my coach. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
You went to college at Sonoma State.
Yes.
Did you play at Sonoma State?
No, I had a weird journey in college. We don't need to get too deep in that. I traveled around a little bit. UC Santa Barbara. Got
That's right.
Trouble, academically, figured it out. That's why when my guys BS me, I know what they're talking about already. Kind of journeyman kind of type of guy, but
love it.
Really dug in at Sonoma State. Really dug in.
Okay, dug in, graduated, and then you started your coaching career. You went back to Drake, right? And you coached with Doug?
Coaching that with Doug. And then when I went to Sonoma to finish up my undergrad, I started coaching with Pat Fiscaldo up there.
Of course. Okay, awesome.
Probably, I think I was 24 and like a student coach, kind of like I was older, but I still was like a coach.
Okay, great. And then, so how many years were you did you help Doug Donnell at Drake?
Two. Yeah.
But you had, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Trev, you had Tom Poser and John Granucci on your team.
Oh, we were unbelievable. That team was loaded.
Went to State.
Jason Gunnarsson, Brooke Steiner, Nate. We were loaded. We went to state championship game. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna get back to that. So then, you coach for 6 years at Sonoma State, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you get the nod to go D1 at USF under Phil Matthews.
Correct. Lucky. Yeah.
And then you go from there to, and we're going to get into more detail here, but just the high level. You go to Cal-State San Bernardino, and you have a great success there. Were you associate head coach, assistant coach there?
Yeah, I was like an assistant the first year, and then became associate head.
Okay, so you were there for 8 years. Then you get a head coaching gig yourself at San Francisco State.
Yeah.
Where you turned that program into really a regional and actually national power. You guys were in the top 25 nationally for a few weeks. You had over 100 wins there. Spent 7 years at San Francisco State, went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in the programs for 23 years or something, 26 years. You were named West Region Coach of the Year, and then you join Stan State. So Cal-State Stanislaus, we're going to call it Stan State. That's your cool brand, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And you're now in your, 8th year at Stan State?
Is it? I think it's 7. It might be 8 if it's maybe going into my 8th if we count the COVID year when they shut it down.
That's right.
They shut us down for a year. So that was a weird year too.
That's right.
That year kind of set us all back here. We're trying to get back on our feet now.
So I'll provide a little bit of anecdotal info here to the background. So Trev, obviously 25 something years as a proven college coach, very successful. That's not why he's on this podcast, and that's not why we all love Trev. He's an amazing coach. But Trev is the guy, if you can't tell already, he is the guy that you run through a brick wall for. And before we started recording, he was telling me that he still remembers me when I played for him at Pirate Camp when I was, 12 years old. I vividly remember Paul Trevor. He's one of these guys who just sticks with you. And as a kid, you made such an impression on me. You taught me how to play defense. You taught me that you don't have to be a good athlete to succeed. You taught me that diving on the floor and doing the little things, coaches love that and notice that. I still have my, evaluation that you wrote for me from my Pirate Camp days. Passion, energy, but then also kind of like what we were talking about with Mike Delosio, your sense of humor and your personality. You connect with people. So you're just a born leader. And several people we've had on this podcast have mentioned that you are a mentor to them. Dave Granucci, Alex Pribble, John Granucci, Tom Poser, many others. So Trev, we're thrilled to have you, and I just want to thank you for everything you've done for me. And Duffy is dying to say something. Go, Duffy.
Well, yes, I want to reiterate all of that and welcome to the podcast, Coach. But I also, as a medical professional, I need to have a quick disclaimer moment, and that is we're not recommending that anyone run through brick walls. Usually that does not work out well for those attempting to do so. Brick wall usually is about 100% victorious. So, Dave, I'm glad you survived running through the brick wall for Coach.
Yes.
So there are certain coaches. Thank you for that value add, Duffy. That's why we pay you the big bucks. So there are certain coaches who you'll run through a brick wall for, and there are certain coaches who will teach you how to run around the brick wall. Trev is one of the guys you want to run through the brick wall for, right? Just like a Mike Fulton. So one last thing is last year I went with Tom Poser and John Granucci to watch Stan State play at Dominican. Trev, I hadn't seen you in 20 something years. I didn't even know if you'd remember me. I was sitting in the stands, and at halftime, it was a close game. You're walking off the court with your assistant coaches and you guys are strategizing. You look up in the stands and you see me and you give me a fist bump and you throw your hands up like, hey, what's up? And I just thought, man, that's Paul Trevor. In the middle of this intense game, he still had time to say hi to the little people. So Trev, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Super happy to be here. You're just dropping, there's so many topics right there within there. I'm super excited. Like we're talking like Fulton and we're talking great names and like the better young coaches like Dave is incredible and Trev and all those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, God, but let's go. We got so much to talk about. I'm super pumped.
So much to talk about. All right, let's just start with kind of coaching philosophy, Trev. So the word that comes to mind when I think of your coaching is energy. You've just always, you're an energy guy. You're a defense guy. You're an energy guy. Where does that come from? Like, do you have days where you're low energy? And if so, how do you handle that? Because your players obviously have this expectation that you're always going to be high energy guy.
That's a whole podcast on itself right there. I believe I'm an energy toughness guy. Like I think that comes from like I never was the most talented guy in the room. Like I never was the smartest and never was the most talented, but I could work my way into opportunity.
Yeah.
And then I believe that's like for anybody who puts the time and energy and can create opportunities for themselves and be successful. And it's like, so like I've always been that guy like, hey, let's bring a positive approach. Let's sit down. Let's get after it. Let's get better today. We can talk, Carol Dweck, growth mindset.
Yeah.
We can talk all kinds of like, let's just get better. And, and that's been my whole thing since like the 8th grade. Like I was CYO B team, shot the ball with forward rotation, couldn't shoot, couldn't dribble, like I was an undersized 5-man because they didn't know where else to put me. And it was like, you know what? I'll show you. I'll work. I'll create an opportunity. And that, find guys like Duffy who can make shots, but I'm going to get him shots. So Duffy likes to play with me, or like I'm going to set good screens or I'm going to get him the ball and create opportunity for myself. And so I bring that into my practice philosophy. And then I take guys who are way better than me. These guys are way better players than I ever am.
Sure.
And I try and teach them about those concepts. And then you get the guys who, guys can carve out roles. And then you get the talented guys who can shoot and they play together. And it drives me. It just makes me so passionate to do that. Like, so have I ever worked a day? Yeah, when I was working twice to make money. But like nowadays, like I could do basketball all day long. Like it's like all day long. It's like, this is what I love. Watch film, watch the practice after practice, coach the practice, meet with the guys, do individual workout. Like, it's like, teach them about life, teach them about, problem solving, 1% better, all that stuff. And God, what a great calling. Like what an unbelievable thing to do.
I was just saying this in a previous episode, but I'm starting this. We just started practice obviously this week and I'm a head coach. I'm taking over for Fulton. Really easy shoes to fill, Trev. No problem. But I keep telling my team, just keep stacking days.
Yeah.
Right. And just that you're 1% better. That message I think is really, it resonates particularly with high school kids. I really like that message.
I think that's even more important now than it used to be. Like we used to run through walls, like you say, or the coach said so. But kids today are so much smarter and they do so much more individually with their phone and the information and everything they have access to. So if we're talking about growth, they want to know that they're getting 1% better, not because you said so, but because it makes them better. And so they kind of like, if you're working out, you have to incorporate, make sure you're doing skill development, make sure you're doing things and they're understanding why they're getting better, why they're getting 1% better. So I think that's real important. And then you asked, do I ever not have energy? Yes. In fact, like for the first time ever last year, I didn't have energy. I did not. And it was crazy. Like this is a first time listener, David. Ready? I'll drop
Yeah.
it. I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
And so I was going through chemo and I was going through stuff and like trying to coach and keep it to myself. And I was dealing with it all internally.
Yeah.
And so there were days where I didn't have me. Like I wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And I think it affected our success 100%, 100%. And so in May, I went to Stanford, got heavy chemo. They got it all under control and I'm back. And
Good for
I'm
you,
100.
buddy.
Like I'm not 100, but I'm back, baby. And it's going, it's going, it's going. So now I'm ready.
Yeah. I had heard, I'm glad I didn't, I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up. I'm glad you did. It's awesome to see you. You look great. So when you were going through that, obviously we weren't planning on talking about this. Let's talk about it. How do you communicate to your players? Do you tell them what's going on? Do you not want them to worry about it? Like, how did you approach that?
Last year, I didn't tell anybody. I dealt with it internally.
Yeah.
I just juggled it and it was bad. It wasn't bad, but I don't think they needed it. I don't think, like, I'm not an excuse guy. Like, I'm not like, let's put it on that. I wasn't good. Like, I wasn't a good coach and I didn't have the energy to be a great coach. And, I don't want to put that on them. They have enough. They're trying to grow up. And so when at the end of the season, we made the adjustments, and what it really did is it helped me find out who I wanted to be as a coach.
Yeah.
What's the most important things in my life and how I want to coach and how I want to mentor. And it actually helped me continue to grow and get better. That's what it did. And so, when we met at the end of the year with each guy and I kind of talked about it and I talked about my situation and how that year went. And, I gave the guys, if they don't want to play for me, they don't have to. But the guys, we had 11 returners and they were full in and they understood and we were good with that. It was great. But it really helped me understand what I'm about. And even more so in the changing time. Yeah. Definitely.
So it sounds like you kept it from the team initially, just like having to process it, didn't want to put it on them. But when you did talk to them about it, assuming that you have, how did that conversation go?
Well, basically what we did was at the end of the year, we had individual meetings and then we kind of went over my health and what my plans were to get it back under control. And that, going to Stanford and having the chemotherapy and taking care of that would bring me back into basically, I'd probably say I'm about 95%, 90 to 90, 95, in that area. And they understood that and they were down with that. And then there were other guys who were like, you know what, coach, this isn't for me. I'm going to go somewhere else. And I was like, that's great. That's good. Like, I'm totally free. I'm not here. If a guy doesn't want to be here, I don't want to coach him. I don't want to coach anybody who doesn't want to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
And so when we get into my current philosophy, and especially really important in the time we're in now in coaching, college athletics, our number one thing is grateful. Like guys got to be grateful for opportunity, grateful for what we give them, grateful for the scholarship they receive, grateful for, the coaching, and grateful for just being a part of a team instead of entitled, instead of feeling like everything is given to them because of who they are. Nothing should be given to you through entitlement. Everything should be grateful and earned. And we changed that 180 completely. And if you can't be grateful, you can't play for me. You can't be a player.
Incredible message.
Because then I'm begging you to do things that you don't want to do. And I don't want to beg you to do things. Like, I want you to want to do things to be successful.
That's such a great message.
So what I went through, Dave, it really kind of like, you sit there and you're like, well, what am I doing? Like,
what's the why? Right.
What's my why? Right. Like, I'll give you the 4. I'll give you the 4 right now. Grateful is number 1. Compete, but compete in the right way.
Right.
Like, so many guys compete now and they think trash talking and shit talking and doing dirty little things is competing. That's not competing. Competing is pressuring the ball, sitting your ass in stance, setting a good hard screen, and you run into that screen. That's not a dirty screen. That's what I'm telling them to do. Compete. Now your job's to play through that screen. That's competing. Compete. And you're going to compete. I'm going to compete. And guess what? I'm going to help you up after I knock you on your butt, because that's competing the right way. So we talk a lot about that. That's 2. All right. 3 is coachable. You got to be coachable. Or what's the purpose? What is my purpose? So grateful, compete, coachable, right? coachable. Like, if you aren't listening to what I'm telling you, then what am I doing here? What are you doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, I've been around the game for 50 years. What are we doing? So, like, that's 3, and 4 is your attitude defines you. So whether you know it or don't know it, like, when your body language on the bench looks a certain way, or like the guy does this when he's waiting in the corner for the shot and doesn't get it,
And shrugs shoulders. Yeah.
whether you know it or don't know it, that defines who you are. And that defines how your teammates look at you. The crowd looks at you. I look at you. So you need to control your attitude. You need to control your body language, because that's going to define how you're viewed by everybody around you. Those are our 4. That's our golden 4.
Amazing. I love it. I'm ready to play for you. I'm 49. I got hops, Trev. I got eligibility. Put me in.
That's what reflection will do for you, though, right? Like, and those are, you ask, like, what's your non-negotiable?
Yeah.
That's my non-negotiable. Like, if you're going to have a bad attitude, you won't travel. You won't even suit up. You won't even sit on my back. Like,
Yeah.
like if you, like, okay, our best player on Saturday was scoring. He was hooping. Little guard, he was hooping. We made a run. Point Lomas, great team. It's a good game. We cut it to like 4. We're coming at him pretty hard. And I'm rotating guys because he's tired. And guys in the past would be like, why are you taking me out? What? I'm hooping. Like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
He was the guy bringing water to the guys who I'd put in for him to get them right and cheering them on. You know, we do what we call Recognition Monday, like Recognition Monday, where we'll recognize charges, loose balls, rebounds, the dirty work, Dave. You'd get a lot of stickers. Okay. Duffy, sorry, we don't do points. We don't recognize points because points is already glorified. So we recognize all those other things, right? We recognized him today because of his leadership and the way he carried himself behind the scenes, the things that nobody charts, the things that you don't see. And so we recognize that today in Recognition Monday. Yeah,
I
Duff.
love it. Duffy's going to defend his honor. Go ahead, Duff.
Well, what about recognizing how a shooter helps space the floor on offense and gives more double gaps to the ball handlers, right? We can recognize the fact that just Mark Lewis standing in the corner is going to make the defense scared, right? You have more opportunities.
We have our first Lou reference.
Hey, Duff, I will put that in on Recognition Monday. If my shooters space it well, I'll be like, hey, you are spacing the floor. Fantastic. Recognition. Because you know
right
what?
where you are.
Right where you are. Because we call those guys that come to the ball, we call them seekers. We call them seekers. I got to get the ball. I got to get the ball. And what happens is they tighten the space and there are no gaps. So you're absolutely right, Duff. The spacer is huge. Huge.
Way to go, Duffy.
Trying to get away from the seekers. The seekers scare me. You know, like the seekers like, there's nowhere to go. We got 4 guys coming to the ball.
Well, I tell my team, like, we don't want to look like a 4th grade soccer team bunching around the ball, right? Like, and as you get, you're compressing the space. You gotta space it out.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
I love it. Yes, Duffy.
I want to come back to energy because obviously I can tell the energy is kind of infectious. So I guess that my guess is you don't really have a hard time getting your team going a lot of the time. But if you did, if it's a recognition Monday, but you're like today it's a holiday and you start an early practice, like we both had, pretty early practices today, and they're like maybe a little, sort of dead from the weekend. How do you get them going? Do you have what's your go-to? Is there a drill? Is it just kind of get them fired up? Do you go to the team leaders? What's your technique to get the energy going?
Well, like for today, like we weren't sleepy today because we're kind of hungry. We're kind of hungry right now. So it wasn't really hard today, but we usually go weights. Like we go weights before and it gets the blood flowing. I try not to be too critical in the weight room, like get the blood going. Like we're going to get going here. We're going to work through it. And then depending on their mood, like if I think they're sleepy, we go to ropes because ropes don't lie. Like jump ropes don't lie. So we'll go to ropes because you're going to if you go to ropes, you're going to get warmed up either way. You're going to wake up like ropes are exhausting. So, and then we have different warm-ups that we do after ropes, but most of it's communication based. So everything we do is like talking. So whether we're doing like our closeout drills, our 8 slides or 6 slides, or we're doing like our penetration kick or whatever our warm-up is, communication's our number one way to get going. And we do a lot of echoing. So like whatever I say, they echo. So what we're doing on that is we're trying to really, because if you can stimulate your voice and stimulate your mind, Now your body's going to basically follow that lead. It's going to follow that lead. Like you say, it's infectious. So that's how we get going. We get going using our terminology, our voice, on certain days like that. And the echo concept, like, all right, like this is what we do, skip, skip, skip,
Right.
like close, like whatever those terms are, that gets us going usually. The communication side of things.
That's great. Do you think that a lot of coaches would just, if the team's low energy, they just make them run? Do you think that the ropes and the weights like that is a better way in the course of a basketball season to get them going without having to have too much repetitive running?
Right. So we try and run when we compete, and we make a consequence because we want to make the competition not blend in with all the other competitions. So when we compete, we try and make sure that there's a consequence, so that there's like, it's like, we compete to win, and running sucks. like not just like, oh, well, just another game, just another AAU tournament. No, it's like, that sucks. I don't want to run. So let's sit down and play. But like, I think so with our ropes, you'll love this. And this comes from my Gator days. This comes from San Francisco State. We have rules with our ropes. Like, your shorts have got to be tied. Your shoes have got to be tied, because guys hate ropes. They hate them. Like they get them, but you're on ropes. You're like, ropes, alternating, double jump, like, and it's like, they want to stop and tie their shoe or tie their shorts. And it drives me crazy. So we have rules on that. Like, I'll add minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll add minutes. Like, all right, looks like we're tying our shoe. Bump it. Like, oh, like ropes,
Right.
like, so ropes don't lie. Like, if you want to get a good sweat out right now, go outside and jump rope for 5 minutes and you'll feel pretty good. Like, ropes don't lie. So I think that I agree. Like, those are great ways to get us going. I'll make our runs hard when I'm pissed off. Like, if they're not listening, usually, like if guys don't listen.
Oh, Duffy just got out his jump rope.
Duffy's ready. Let's get it.
Duffy, that was a mic drop right there.
Right there. I love it.
Yeah. Put it away. Duffy, please don't jump rope right now. Thank you. All right. Trev, I want to go back to the early days. I want to go back to Drake.
Okay.
And because, so taking this energy that you have, I mean, I remember I met you were a high schooler, and you had this energy, you had this aura about you. And you also had this strut, this unmistakable Trev strut. You strut around the gym, the Drake gym, like you own the place, and because you did. But you're playing for Pete Hayward, a legend. He had won a state title. And when you were playing for Pete, he'd already coached for a long time. He was kind of in the sunset-ish years of his career. Is that fair to say? Like, he retired a couple years after your team, right?
Except his son was on our team.
Oh, right. Of course. Mike.
We had to be good. Like, Mike was on the group. So we had to be able to get, run our stuff.
So describe playing for Pete Hayward and Drake in the 80s. What was it like for you?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get there in a second. I got to tell you two.
Okay.
Things.
Please.
Sophomore year in high school, we're practice. I wasn't very good. I was on frosh off. No, it was freshman year frosh off. Okay. They brought in Mike Fulton because they thought we were soft. They thought we were soft. We were soft. We were soft Marin County Cherries, right? They brought in Fulton. Fulton had yellow knee braces, high socks, yellow knee pads, high socks, short shorts, goggles.
I remember him well.
I don't know how old he was. I have no idea. I mean, like, the whole deal. Like, I think he had like a tank top on. Like, it might have been like Surfer Joe or some kind of surfer tank top, right?
Trev, Fulton is 60. He looks great. The problem is he looked 60 when he was 23.
Yes, right.
So he looks the same as he did back then. So continue, please.
Going down the court, full speed ahead, knees high, taking bodies, like guys bouncing off. It was one of the most life-changing, horrific growth. I can't even use enough adjectives to describe it. Yeah. But I love that guy. That guy was inspirational. I was like, if that guy can do it, I can do it. And he was amazing. So that was first one on that. Second is the strut. I still get killed for the strut. I don't even know what it is. It's the shoulders are too big. Like, I can't figure it out. Like,
you got it going on, man.
My team mimics it. They kill me on it. I watch it on film. I'm like, cut that out. Bring me arms in. Like,
Hey, don't change. Don't change, Trev.
Okay, so back to Pete now.
Yes.
Pete was brilliant. Brilliant. Like, he was old school, a tactician, crazy competitive. Just everything was dot your I's, cross your T's. We're going to execute it. I think, like as we've morphed as a society and as a coaching tree, and his style doesn't work anymore.
Right.
But for the period, it was pretty brilliant. And it was challenging because we still didn't have enough guys always drinking the Kool-Aid and buying it. It was hard. It was a hard system. It was hard. And he held you really accountable.
So hard in terms of he's very exacting. You make a mistake, you're coming out, or yeah.
And he's hot. He's not like he's going to let you know.
Yep.
He's hot, and he's kind of scary, and it was kind of intense. And I was a pretty scary guy anyways back then, so it didn't bother me much. But for a lot of guys, it was pretty scary.
And playing with his son, who was a great player, by the way, Mike Hayward, amazing player, all Pac-10 at University of Washington. I mean, just Pac-10 freshman of the year, I think, right?
Yeah, Pac-10 12.
So he had a ton of talent, and you guys. So how good was your team in the 86, 87?
We were really good. I think we were co-champions with San Rafael, and then I think we the only thing we did that was really, maybe we would have been an outright champion. The only thing we did was we blew that consecutive conference streak.
Yeah.
It was 87. Like, we had 87 consecutive streak, and we blew it at Terra Linda. And what a circus act that was. And we went out and laid a dud, and we never heard the end of it. But I'll tell you, like, I've kept in touch with Mike Hayward, and he's wonderful. Mike's a wonderful man, and he lives up in Reno, and what a great player he was.
We're trying to have him on. We were Duffy and I were texting with him a couple months ago. And so Reed Nottingham, who else was on that team with you? Reed.
Yeah, Dave Scafani at the one. Solid little Dave. Woo! Like a jet. Somehow or another, I found my way into the 2-guard. Like, I don't know how. I couldn't shoot. I don't know what I was doing.
Defense, baby. Defense.
Championship. And then you had Reed and Ned. And then you had
Ned Freeman. Yep.
Mike. And then Leaf Linderman came off the bench, and he was a stud too, like, really good player. He probably should have been the 4, and Reed and Ned should have been the 2, 3. I should have been over there handing them water glasses. I mean, like, that's how it should have gone.
All right. So, Trev, talk about the outdoor runs at Drake. Plane pickup. You've heard about, it's a recurring theme of this podcast. We love talking about the good old days of great pickup runs on the Drake outdoor courts. What impression did that leave you growing up in that environment?
That's why part of the major reason why Drake basketball was so successful for so many years was just people come from all over, come out there and hoop all day long. And you'd have the legends out there, Chavez's and the legends, and just, guys would come out there and just, it was hoop. It was beautiful. When I was young, I was scared to play out there a little bit because they were the big boys. They were the big guys. But as you got older, like, you carve your own niche in time and stuff like that. I liked it though, because the wind would blow sometimes, and I could never shoot anyway. So jumpers didn't matter out there. Even sprack the ball and physicality mattered, My favorite memories out there though are like, it'd be windy and you couldn't shoot, and it'd be game point. So you had to make a jumper to win, because every time you went to the basket, it was a foul.
Right.
It was just like, it was a grinder, because you didn't want to get off, because it was like a 7-game wait. So you just wait. It would be forever. But it was Drake outdoor courts, 2 ways are legendary. Like the open gym, the outdoor run setting, and then like pirate camp. Like, 3rd and 4th outdoor courts, Suns and Kings, ball handling with Spencer and Fulton, like
Sandal.
Sandal. Like, like, it was great. Like, I don't know. Like, those are the memories. I know the pool's there now.
Yeah.
I just thought, God, there were so many incredible memories. Like, you're smiling. So we go down that. I still smile. Like, when I do it, like, I'll coach against Jimmy Saya. He's in our league. And I'll smile and laugh. Like, I'll look at him and be like, we were doing this when we were babies, like. Well,
the fun thing was, so back at pirate camp, you'd have like Thursday or Friday, you have so the kids get put on teams for the week, right? And you got coaches, and it's incredible if you had a snapshot of going back to pirate camp in 1987 and 88, and the coaches of those teams coaching 12-year-olds on a day camp you had several high-level college coaches. You had Jimmy Saya, you had Pat Sandel, you had Steve Lavin, you had Paul Trevor. I mean, you had all, then you had guys like Doug DeVore and Dan Hunt, the guys who played pro ball, Chris Fulton, Mike Fulton. I mean, just this incredible. So these amazing coaches, but also you went back to one of your non-negotiables, compete. The competitiveness of a day camp, regular season day camp game, and the coaches and how intense you guys were, and yelling at the refs, who, by the way, were the coaches themselves, right? Would ref games. I remember that impression that left on me about how competitive you guys are. I mean, Jimmy Saya, we interviewed Mike Saya. Jimmy Saya scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, just because I mean, he's incredible coach, but just, man, don't get that guy mad. Don't not be in your defensive stance. Jimmy Saya will be all over you.
Duff's got a question, but we'll get to that in a second.
Forget Duffy. Duffy, go jump rope. Come on. All right, go ahead, Duff. What do you got?
Well, we've talked before on the podcast about coaching trees. We were talking about it just the other day, Dave, about, Steve Kerr, Popovich coaching tree. So thinking about all these coaches that came out of the day camp, is that Pete Hayward coaching tree, or is it more nuanced than that?
That's a good question. Go, Trev.
I think Pete is the founder of it. I think he's the creator of that camp. I mean, that he set the stage for that camp, and that whether it's Pete's coaching, his fundamental background, right? His basis of knowledge and development. But then when you take your team, whatever team it was, and you teach them how to teach your system, the only way it's going to get better. It's going to get better. So if I'm teaching somebody to teach what I'm teaching, the lineage continues to go down the line. There's no wonder that Drake basketball was what it was. I'm learning how to coach the guys that are going to be playing for me. And then they're learning to teach the other guys in the next generation. Yeah. And, like Steve Lavin, I was in 8th grade, and remember, I couldn't shoot. So they put me in the post in camp, and I'd show up at 7 a.m. for basketball camp with Lav, and we'd do jump hooks, hooks, left and right. And, I'm in the 8th grade, summer of the 8th grade. And we lost in the championship, and we sat outside by those outdoor courts, and we all cried. Steve Lavin included. We all cried immensely. We had put so much into it that week. It meant everything. And that's, so then when I got to that level and I'm coaching kids, it meant everything. It was my product. Now Dave was my product. I got to make him great. We're going to make him great this week. I got to make him great. We're going to take charges. We're going to dive on these balls. This is going to be amazing. We're going to show them all how great we were. And then I move on, and then somebody else I got to make you great. It's you learn that passion. You learn that investment. You learn that whole deal, and it carries on. There's a movie. It should be a movie. Drake basketball should be a movie. I
totally agree. By the way, side note on Mike Delosio, Trev, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to Delosio's yet. It's great. He tells the whole story about how he walked on to Indiana, and Dibley texted us after he listened to it. He said this has to be a movie. So maybe we'll work on 2 movies, the Drake movie and then the Delosio walking on an Indiana movie.
I think Delosio dated my sister, and he was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And she was bored with him because all he would do is go to the gym and shoot jumpers every night until 2 a.m.
We heard about that.
Yeah. He tells the story that he and Trev, they got the key from Cappy, and they would be in the Drake gym from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. doing, and he told the drill that they would do. I don't know if you knew this one. So Lav's in the middle, Delosio's filling the lane, full court layup to Delosio, finish back to Lav, back and forth, and Delosio had to make 100 in a row. So if he missed at 73, back to zero.
Yeah. It's always, he was like, woo, he was like, oh, like crazy. But yeah, great. Because when I was young, I was a freshman or at that time, and my sister would be like, yeah, I'm dating Mike, but he's going to the gym every day, every day.
Pretty crappy boyfriend. Yeah.
Right. So
what do you got, Duff? You got a question?
No, it was more of a comment, actually a statement, that just so Coach knows that I was going to get to this at the end, but Mike Delosio's name came up. Mike's actually coming to our practice tomorrow to speak with our guys before practice and talk about his journey, which is going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. Cool. But just to let you know, the expectation is if you're a former Drake player coach and you're on this podcast, that you will be then committing to come and meet with the team at Archie at some point as your schedule allows. So
you just tell me when. I'd love to come and talk to the guys. I would love that. That'd be super fun.
Trev would be
I drive by there sometimes. My dad still lives out in Fairfax. So yeah.
nice.
All right.
That'd be incredible.
We'll schedule. All right. Podcast is over, Dave. Good work.
All right. Good job, Duff. Mission accomplished. All right, Trev, we're talking about journeys. Let's talk about how you started in the college coaching ranks. So you Sonoma State's your first job. How did you get that job, and discuss kind of the early days of Coach Trev as a college coach?
Oh, this is great. You're going to love this. So Pat Sandel was up at Sonoma.
Love Pat.
Coaching. And I just worked 2 years with Doug, and we went to the state championship, and we lost in the NorCal championship. And I was going to be attending Sonoma, kind of getting my shit back, excuse my French, getting my stuff back together. And so I went up there to go back to school. I had like 5 or 6 classes to take to get my degree. And Pat's like, come up, coach, volunteer up here, and I'll talk to Fiscaldo about it. And you can just work these guys out. Now, I thought I was hot. Like, I thought I knew a lot of stuff. And you go up there, and now you're back down to the bottom again. And so you're like, oh, here I am, the bottom feeder again. And you know, it's super hard. And like, they're going Midnight Madness, and like, I'm not even allowed in the gym. Like, I'm the guy taking tickets outside in the gym. And I was doing it with another coach at the time who was a volunteer. And actually, he's like, I'm better than this. I don't need to do this. And he left. He's like, this is not what I'm doing. I did it. And then I just basically, my theory was take whatever they give you and make it great. Whatever they give you, take it and make it great. So Coach had a wife, Molly Goodenbauer, who...
Oh, yeah. Stanford player.
Yep. So Molly was getting ready to go play for the Seattle Reign. And so he's like, Trev, you know, you can work Molly out, and that'd help me out. So I was like, sure. I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about workouts. I'll do that. So I started working his coach's wife out. And she's like, hey, she told him that I was really good, like a great workout coach. She's like, you need to have him work out your red shirts. And so then I started taking all the red shirts and working them out at like 6 a.m. So then now I'm working out all the red shirts at 6 a.m. And starting, you know, just take a little piece, take a little piece, take a little piece. And they're like getting better. And he's watching the workouts, and he's like, well, now you got to come in and work with our bigs. And so now I got the bigs, and now I'm working the bigs out. And I'm working the bigs out. And I'm just still doing like, just helping out in practice. I'm just a piece. And then like, you know, like he's like, Sandal was doing all the defense. And then he's kind of like, Sandal will go recruit. He's like, Trev, you got the defense. And then here I come. Like, now I'm starting to do the defense. Now I got the defense. And then Sandal left. And then I got all the defense. And then I got a lot of the development.
Awesome.
And then, so within like 2 years, it was like, do you, Trev? Go do you. You got it. Like, be. And then, so I got to get a lot of experience. So I just took whatever he gave me.
Well, so it's great to hear this, especially in context of going back to where we started, right? You're talking about your why as a coach, right? And it's compete, it's be grateful, it's attitude, so all these things. And that here you are in this situation where they're asking you to sell tickets or do crappy operation stuff. And instead of saying, screw this, I want to coach, you're just like, well, all right, I'm lucky to be here. I'm going to have a good attitude. I'm going to be grateful, and I'm going to freaking kick ass.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm going to wash as many, whatever you need washed, I'll wash it.
Yeah.
And then you know what? I'm going to wash it so well that you're going to give me something else to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a mentor tell me once professionally that every day is an interview, right? So every little thing, even if you don't think the people who are making decisions are watching you, but that's a great example that, you know, it really is. And if you do something really small and do it well and with enthusiasm, people will notice eventually, maybe not the first time around, but eventually. But I want to ask you, Coach, about defensive philosophy. So you said you took over the defense, and were you dictating the defense, you know, in terms of your strategy? And if so, sort of how did you scheme that? Did you come in as like a man-to-man coach or a zone, or did you kind of fit it to your personnel? How did you go about it?
Soft 2-3 zone from Trev, I'm sure. Trev just hung up. We don't like zones here, Trev. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You're going to love where we're going then, because back then I was full man-to-man. I was grind and deny, jump to the ball pressure, overload, ball side, stunt the gaps. Like, I was huge man-to-man. Pat Sandel, I was a Pat Sandel prodigy. Like, I was literally like pirate camp, like, give me the small gym, everyone get out of my way, let me go. Like we're going to get you. We're JYD. Here we come.
Yep, junkyard dogs.
Yep. So Like that was our whole deal. So like it was real easy transitioning in with when Pat would be away or when he left, like when Sandal left, because I had learned everything from him and Doug. Like it was all fundamental basketball, big step, like all that stuff. And I still do a lot of that stuff today. But like fundamentals are never lost. I mean, that's the thing that happens is when you think we get higher, we lose the fundamentals. No, fundamentals are the foundation, just better players, right? Just better players. But fundamentals are the same thing. Fundamentals are fundamentals. So we were man to man. By the way, I am not man to man anymore, but go ahead. We're man to man.
Wow. We're going to have to get into that.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you go from Sonoma State? So you have, obviously you build up your importance and your responsibilities grow, and now you're a couple years in. How long are you at Sonoma State? 6 years, bud?
6 years. By the way, Coach Jason Gunnarsson, what got him to Sonoma, he was a stud. God, he was a good Division II player. But okay, keep going.
Great player for Drake. We could go deep. I know Ed Maddock played for you.
Great coach too.
Awesome. That was for Dave Deneen. Dave Deneen listens to all this.
Dave Deneen, another guy, backdoor Willie.
That's right.
Hey, I'm open. All
right. So you get to USF and Phil Matthews. How does this happen? And I'm interested in what you thought of Phil Matthews. So he was the coach at USF. Phil Matthews was, I never, I met him once or twice, but Phil Matthews, the one word that comes to mind when I think about him is just tough, man. The guy was a disciplinarian. You see him on the sidelines. He was tough. So
Phil and I are close today. Phil and I are still close today. I love Coach Matthews.
Great.
I love him. Like, he is amazing. Like, I got to USF. I was grad assistant, third assistant, GA, film exchange. And because you were at Stanford.
Yeah.
I wore more hats than any guy ever. I had nowhere to stay. I would sleep on his couch. Like I'd watch his big screen TV, like his couch in his office. Like I'd wake up super early before anyone got there, and I'd get back to work. So everyone was like, God, that guy works every minute of the day. No, I sleep here. Literally, I slept in the office for basically about 6 months. So I didn't have anywhere to stay. I didn't make any money. I didn't have anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, were they paying you, Trev?
No, they were paying for grad school. I would sleep in my car on Fifth Avenue, like with the blankets over. Like I was like a homeless coach. Like it was literally like guy knock on the window, go move the car, park somewhere else. Like I literally was find a way. Like you're going to find a way to get through this. Back then film exchange was, VHS, and you had the one master copy.
Wow.
8 players, and you were like, ship them out. Next set, 2.5 hours later. It was none of the stuff we deal with anymore. But
this was before Huddle.
But man, it was grindy. But like, you got to do what you got to do to get where you want to go, right? Like again, do what you want to do to get where you want to go. And I want to be a college basketball coach.
So would Phil let you talk in practice? Like, what was his style like as a coach, and how did he handle his assistant coaches?
Phil and I were great. Like I got to do some stuff with him. Each coach had a scout. Coaches could do like breakdown work, and we were energy guys and chart stuff.
Yeah.
It was great like that. It was challenging for me because, again, you go from Drake High School to Sonoma State. You go from the top of your world to the bottom of that world. And then you build your world back up at Sonoma State, and you go from Sonoma State, just a D2 guy, to USF. And you got to, now here I am again. I'm a low guy on the totem pole. I got to earn my stripes again. I got to earn your way back up. And that takes time at that level. And so, you start finding again, like for me, I start working out guys start liking being around me, start getting players that want to be around you, and you kind of carve your niche out, and you carve your niche out again. So I carved out my niche, and then it was the best part about that is we got to go to Spain for 3 weeks and travel around and have a European tour.
It's great.
And then, play in the WCC, Dan Dickow, Blake Stepp, woo, we're talking hoopers, and we were good too. And it was fun. Like it was a good run. Nothing like it is nowadays.
Yeah.
For the time, it was a good year.
So as you look back on the early days of your coaching career, right? And then you look at it now. So then from
USF, you go to San Bernardino, and then you got 8 years there. You go to San Francisco State. You have all the success. So your coaching style, if you were to describe your style today versus when you were a younger coach, is it the same or has it changed at all?
That's a great question. I think we go through, like, you go through these transitions of like who you think you are and who you want to be and what you're trying to get to, and then what you really are. And you kind of, as a coach, you're like,
Yeah.
All these guys now are statistical and they got all these ratios and 30%, we want to force this shot from this spot at this time. And we want to do this. And you got to kind of know who you are. I think you kind of got to know who you are. And I'm a passionate driver. I'm an energy, that's what I am. My guys are going to play hard. You're going to know you play us. We're going to defend. We're going to hit you like that. I know who I am. And I get so caught up because sometimes I want to be smarter than I am. Like, I want to show you how smart I am, and wise and brilliant. And I've seen so many things. And sometimes you got to get back to just who you are and what you are. Yeah.
So, go, Duff.
Well, I'm thinking because to the extent I've coached a coach, I'm a little bit more on the analytical side. It fits my personality, but I'm wondering if you can blend both of them, right? Like, have you looked at ways where you can look at metrics of your enthusiasm, like your hard ass play on video, and be able to translate that and just, show your players who maybe aren't fully bought in, or they're partway bought in, or whatever. You show them on tape with the metrics of whatever you want to play it, call it culture plays or hard ass plays or knockdown plays or whatever it is.
Without a doubt. And from our basketball background and from our coaching basketball, I agree 100%, Duff. And that's when you get good. When you blend the two, when you find ways to get the two together. But I think, the trickiest part is from the defensive side, where we talk about energy and passion and flying around the floor and being aggressive, to the offensive side where everything's got to slow down and be more, you got to analyze and space and slow down and pick your gaps, that's where I think, or you could just play fast, but I don't like playing fast. I don't like playing fast offensively. I got that Pete Hayward in me where I like to get out on turnovers. I like to get out on long rebounds, but if we're going to grind a little bit, I want to go into the post. I'm old school. I want to run some box. I want to dump it into the post. I want to get a little cut through. I want to go inside out. I want to
make the defense work, right?
What's that?
You want to make the defense work.
I want to make them work. Yeah. And then we're going to get it. And then we're going to drop our press back on you. And here we come again.
Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely right, Duff. I think that the trick is finding that balance of when to go and when to back off and where our shots are and one more and how to play together cohesive. So for myself, our rules offensively are be connected. We want to be connected. We don't want to be isolated.
Yeah.
So push and pull, we want to go in and out. We want to be connected. We want to use all our parts offensively. And then we want to have detail. We want to make sure our details right, understanding what we're doing. So today's practice was totally focused on offensive detail, spacing, and simplifying everything to clear up how we play offensively.
Trev, do you try to keep it simple in terms of the number of sets that you run and the quick hitters and the framework? Do you walk us through that? We're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but I like this. I'm fascinated by this, just how you approach your offense, right? Because some coaches like to script everything. We talked to Kevin Vasquez, who played for Bob Williams. He's they did 5, who I know you've coached against, and Bob Williams is an amazing coach. He's we ran 5-on-0, 20 minutes a day, every day in practice. We had so many sets and we had them down cold so that if it was, we needed a 3 at the end of the game, we could pull it out of our back pocket. Whereas some coaches are focused on read and react and just kind of framework, right? So where do you fit on that spectrum?
That's a fantastic question. Fantastic. First off, Bob Williams box set is my favorite thing of all time. And one of my first stories at Sonoma, we live scout them. and I would watch his box set. And then I'd go to Woodstock's Pizza there in UC Davis.
Oh yeah.
I'd go with him, and he would tell you to this day. I asked the craziest question. I'm like, "Hey Bob, can you just let me in on a secret? Like, are you guys read react? How you guys know where everybody's going?"
Yeah.
He looked at me like I'm crazy. He's like, "We're about to play you on
I'm
Friday.
about to play you. Exactly.
We're going to play you on Friday. You want me to tell you everything?" I was like, "Please, I just want to know." Like, I was so innocent and raw. I was like, "I just want to know. Like, this is brilliant." So, like, I have all his box stuff. So, like, I could run millions of variations on the box. Right now, we don't run basic box well enough. Like, so we got to get our basic box down. I think my issue, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is like I have Princeton concepts. I have box concepts. I have all this stuff. Like some people say, like the beautiful mind, right? Like, teaching all these things and doing. And my assistants are like, narrow me down. They funnel me down. And that's why like today happens, like where it's like, okay, we played last weekend and we didn't run anything well. We ran nothing well. Coach, we run too much stuff. Like, and it's like, I know. Like, I know. So let's chop it down and get back and get good at a few things instead of just keep running 10,000 things average.
Well, Fulton would keep it really simple. Like, I mean, now high school is different than college, right? But it was interesting because I would come in with like, I'm like you, Trev, I'm a nerd. I'm nerding out on all this stuff, and I've got 7 sets that I want us to run. And he's like, no, they're not going to remember them. They're going to spend all their time trying to remember the plays instead of just playing. So I'd rather teach them how to play and give them some simple frameworks. And it was totally different from my philosophy, which was interesting. And obviously he was right. But
well, I think my issue though stems from like, I've always been an underdog. What I mean by that is like, if we go mano-a-mano with some of the teams in our league in our West region, we're going to have players that are more talented than our players. They're going to have guys that are more talented than us. Sorry. Like, they're going to have a guy who, if I go one-on-one with or run a high pick on-ball screen only, that they're going to defend it. And then we're going to end up with an isolation. And I don't know if we're going to beat you with just isolation at our level. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we're just going to, I mean, we can be as good as we could be on this situation. But if we just run something so simple all the time, then
it's not going to work. So you got to manufacture some points. Yeah, I get it.
So we have to have a little bit of mixture to our game. Like, we can get you an Aggie. We can hit you in the corner. We can run the Aggie out of the corner, or we can run like, that's the drill backdoor. Or we could run some kind of like flop the shuffle and bring the shooter off the down screen, or like curl the pinch strong, replace jumper for our best shooter out of a concept. Like, I think we have to have some stuff that's gonna feed off of what you do defensively to put you in a bad spot. Where we gain it.
Trev, do you find that everybody's kind of running the same stuff? Like Hanek was talking about this in the NBA. It's like there's kind of this monoculture in the NBA where everybody's running 5 out, everybody's running read and react, So like in college, you see a lot of Princeton, right? I mean, and some teams run it really well, right? Stanford women run it great. I mean, Air Force runs it great. These teams run it great, but almost everybody's got some sort of Princeton action going, right? Do you find that in your league? Like, are you're running against your?
It's out of that Zoom action.
Yeah.
I think what's happened is the game has changed so much that our bigs aren't bigs anymore. They all get these skill developments and they all want to step out on the perimeter. So now everybody follows what the NBA does and they space the floor. And now we have this dribble zoom action or the Princeton turns into 5 out. Now we're playing off of that, which is crazy. That's why, like, if we talk about the Davis box or the, the old school, Carolina box or whatever you want to call it. It's more of a ground and pound, kind of like, like give me the Pittsburgh Steelers and here we come. I'm going Jerome the Bus Bettis right up your gut. You got to stop me. So I like having that stuff in because it's different. They'll just switch it. They'll switch the shuffle. They'll switch the down screen. And that's what we were talking about today is like, that's fine. Now you find the mismatch and now we attack the mismatch inside. But they're thinking mismatch on the perimeter. They're like, I got a big on me, coach. Here I go. No, that's great. I love that. But we're going to go in here first.
Right.
So we're going to create that closeout first. So it's just, The game is just modified. It changes, and we have to change. Like, it's funny because, like my assistants, some of them are younger and they're like, let's just get to that high on ball, and the on ball chase, and we'll throw behind, and then we'll lid fake attack downhill. And it's like, well, that's great. But when you're 6'5" athlete and they switch.
Right.
Now what are we doing? Crossover, step back, 3 jumper? Like, we're not winning.
Not a good shot.
We're not winning a lot of games doing that, fellas. So,
Yeah.
because we're not going to beat you.
Duff, do you have a question?
I do have a question. I did not raise my hand, Dave, but I do have a question. I was going to save it until a little later, but I'm going to bring it now.
Go.
So the theme of the episode, I think, is energy, infectious energy, right? We can see that in you, Coach, obviously. But when you talk to your players about finding their own energy, how do you coach them to find their own?
How do I coach them to find their own? Okay. Great question. First off, you got to recruit guys who have great energy. That's one thing. You got to find some guys that match who you are, right? Like, that can be infectious, and and that's where sometimes we get lost because we get lured by talent. We go chase the talent, and the talent doesn't match our energy and doesn't match our vibe, and they can't handle our tough coaching, and never works. It never works. So you got to be true to who you are a little bit in your recruitment. And it's funny because, I have my staff and they go out and evaluate, and they'll be like, Coach, this guy's really good, but he can't play for you. And I'll be like, thank you. Thank you for honestly assessing that, because what happens is you bring in the guy and you get lured by that guy because of his talents. It doesn't match. Because he can't play for me, because I can't infuse my energy all the time into you. You got to bring your energy. You got to bring all the things we talk about, your ability to be coached. You got to bring your ability to be part of a team into that. And so it's good. You got to first step would be, I guess, be evaluating your recruitment. Second is, I'm pretty good at inspiring guys. I can kind of do that. But I think the number one reason why I'm pretty good at that is I'm invested. I care about them. I'm invested in them. We say, people say, I love my guys. No, I truly love my guys. I love them individually. I love them differently. They're all different. And some of them I don't love as much because I don't have as many experiences with. But there are guys that I've had for 5 years and 4 years, and we've been through a lot of stuff. We've been through a lot of grind, and they've had my back and I've had theirs. And in way many levels different than just basketball, whether it's relationship, family, whatever it is. And that's why when I can walk by them and I can slap them on the ass and be like, you're not going today. I need you to raise your shit up. I need you to raise it up right now. You're not going. I'll say stuff like that. You're not with me today. I need you to change. And they'll look at me and we have, it's not everybody. You're not getting everybody. You're getting him.
Sure.
You're having a moment with him, and you're having a moment where you're like, look, man, you know it and I know it. You're bullshit. Let's go. Let's go today. I need you now. Or I'll use tactics like we got 35, make it a great 35. You haven't given me enough today. We got 35 left. I need you to give me a great 35. Let's get 35 out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, or
it's great.
Limit the recruitment where, you know what, and they'll know it. You got to have guys who are honest with yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself, man. You're not here today. You're not here. And sometimes, I got other ones too.
Keep going. I just have a follow-up question.
Yeah, you keep going. Straight competition at the spot. Yeah. Today, one of my starting big men was getting his ass kicked by my backup big. And I just straight out said, Fabi, let him know. Let him know you're kicking his ass. You want to take his minutes. Let him know. Straight out, let him know. Daniel, can you hear him right now? Because I sure can see him. I'll go that way.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
And then he'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, maybe you ought to try and get angry. Maybe you should get angry because you're better when you're angry. Stop going through the motions. You're wasting my time. You're wasting yours. Get angry and let's put it on somebody.
Back to competing, right?
Yeah. Right. Get angry. We started practice with, we call it tight and wide alley. One of my favorite drills. We go tight alley, and tight alley is basically volleyball court to the sideline.
Okay.
And it's 1v1 down and they flip and they go 1v1 back. And if you're bullshitting, it shows right away because your handle's loose, dribble the ball off your foot. If you're bullshitting defensively, you're not turning them. It's tight alley. It's tight. You better be working.
So you're just Trev. It's just a zigzag drill, just one on one.
Tight. It says tight. So we'll warm up with that, and we'll go sometimes high hands or hands behind our back, working on the feet. But then when we get to wide alley's lane line and free throw and out of bounds, win line and free and out of bounds line. Yeah, and I'll just say straight beat him, take his line. Like guard, if you're a guard, you better be able to beat him, take his line. And if we're a pressing team, you better be able to turn him 3 times before half court. You know, like you better sit down, bust your ass, pick a spot, boom, get off his shoulder, rip, sprint ahead, slide, break it down, and let's turn that guy. And maybe some more adjectives in there, and we'll get going. And like if that thing hits the floor, we're on loose balls. We're dive, we'll pick each other up. Like it's hot. And so we'll go 8 slides and we'll go right to that. And I'll tell you if you're ready to practice or not. And it's usually funny because sometimes like the women's players are still muddling around. They're getting out of the gym, you know, they're slowly lingering around. And I'm fiery. Like we're like 6 minutes into practice and it's go time. Like put his ass, like turn to him, you know, like, and we're going, and they're like, Jesus, they just started, but we're going, like, so I don't know, like, I think it becomes infectious. And if we communicate and we set a clear expectation, you would set the same expectation. Duff, my expectation for you would be no different than that. I'd be like, Duff, man, I need you out there to shoot jumper. I need you to hit jumper, but you got to sit down and be able to slide a little bit. You don't have to overpressure, Duff. You got to go high hand. You can't be the Mickey. You got to be the guy ready to go. You know what I mean?
I got a jump hook too, Coach.
Whatever, Duff. Just stand out of 3, Duffy. So Paul Trevor is legendary for running a King's drill at pirate camp and chipping his tooth. I'm sorry, Trev. I have to tell a story. But go ahead, tell the story, Trev.
Oh, it's pirate. You're on it. Like pirate camp with like 200 kids, right? Like lined up. I think I was a guest speaker that day. No, I was coming down from Sonoma. We're like down, we're sitting in stands, like, and I'm talking to him about like, hey, like real important, you know, real important. You got to make sure you dive so your shirt doesn't stick on the floor and you hit your face on it, right? And I'm like, big step, switch, big step, loose ball, shirt sticks, boom, 2 teeth, right into the floor. I still remember this day though, because kids would be like, came up and handed me my teeth. Like, I was like, what are we doing? Like, you know, I popped back up. And I was like, Reed, you got the drill. I'm out.
I got to go to the bathroom. Shout out to my friend Andy Johnson. He's the one who told me that story. I love that story so much. And that's so you hear Trev talking about, you know, how he's running practices and the energy. I mean, that's Trev his whole life. He's been like that. So, of course. So you hit on something earlier. It was a good segue. So Duffy was asking about energy and you talked about recruiting. I'm interested in your perspective on recruiting. Obviously the whole world of college athletics is different right today than it was when you started, right? We've talked about this a lot. The NIL, big deal. The portal, a big deal. So that's got to be challenging. I mean, obviously, so you're an incredible recruiter, I'm sure. I mean, you know, you're sitting down with a kid and his parents, they're going to want to play for you. How has recruiting changed for you in this new paradigm of college athletics?
That's a great question. I've recruited high school. I've recruited junior college heavy a lot of my career.
Yeah.
High school and junior college. And now there's a whole new level. There's like the portal with 4-year transfers, grad transfers. Prep school now is even bigger than it ever was. And so there's so many pockets of recruiting. I think the first thing with recruiting, and this kind of will go back to what we talked about to start my core values and stuff like that, is you got to know who you are. You kind of got to know where you are, who you are, and where you are.
Right.
And where you are. And I'll give you an example. Like, you guys are in Marin County, and I grew up in Marin. I've been there. I love it. Like, there's not a ton of kids from Marin County that are going to want to come to Stan State. It's fine. It's okay. It's
totally.
It's you're passing like 6 other state schools to get to my state school. Okay. To get to my state school. And my state school is different than the other 6 because you got San Francisco State, Cal-State Monterey's at the beach. You got East Bay located over there. You got Chico, Sonoma up in wine country. You got all these things, right? You got all these other things. So I got to know who I'm recruiting. Like, first off, like, what is the goal? What's the purpose? Where are they coming from? And not waste my time and energy. Okay. Not like if there's a guy like say you have a son or like, hey, I want him to play for you.
Right.
That's different. But like to go spend a ton of time, like we recruit a couple Archie Williams kids and come back to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we've done it. And it's almost like you get all of the process, kid comes out, he loves it because I am infectious with my energy.
Sure.
My program is infectious because the guys are real great guys. The school's really kind of nice. It really is. We have cool housing around us, beautiful, but it's still Stan and Turlock. There's not a lot to do. So it's academic and hoop, right? And then you get through the whole process. Now I better come up with a full ride. I better give you a reason to be here. I better be like, okay, I'm going to give you $22,000 to come to school, pay for your housing and do all that. Otherwise, it's not a good investment for you because you're going to be like, all right, this is not, I don't know, it's kind of not what I want to do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't match.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then 22,000 for me is a shoot load of money. Like, which I'm not fully funded. Like, I'm not,
right.
Like, you better be LeBron. Like, you better be like the real deal,
Right. Right.
So it's challenging in that way. So I got to find pockets where people are more grateful to be here. Does that make sense? Grateful to be here. Sacramento works.
Yeah.
The 99 corridor, the East Bay works really well for us. Inland Empire works well, like down into Southern California, certain parts. But it's pockets. It's pockets. And I got to stay with those pockets and recruit those heavy and then make the investment in those pockets. That's one. Two, I'm not great at the portal. And a lot of people have dabbled in the portal. I'm not trying to get into the portal. Maybe it's my own outdated philosophy or me. But if you're talking about my number one rule is grateful, then you're talking about a kid coming from the portal who's trying to find opportunity, which is okay, but he's leaving another opportunity.
Yep.
And so
totally
for a reason. So he's leaving because he either wasn't playing or it was disciplinary. Or the coaches weren't too worried about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because or it's financial. It's not going to be financial coming to me. Right.
Right.
So it's financial looking for an opportunity or that. So if the kid's a portal kid and it's a kid we recruited in the past, I would look at it. Like we recruited out of high school, like maybe. But then again, not too much because we already offered that kid and he turned us down. So I'm not anybody's like stepsister. Like I'm not your second choice. Like you either in with me or you're not. Like we have some things with our recruitment that we do too, where don't use me as your poster child for an offer. Like you either accept my offer or don't accept my offer. Don't go tweeting about my offer. Like I'm not your bounce. I'm not your building block for what's great.
Don't shop me to get something else. Yeah.
Like I'm not here for that. Like you either take it. If you post about it, my offer's off the table. Like it's gone. Yeah. Like I'm not here for that nonsense. So that's one. Grad school's not an option for us because grad school's too limited here. Like we don't have enough opportunity and no access to it. Yeah. So it's tricky. It's a tricky deal, right? Like it's a tricky recruitment place. We have 4 freshmen. I love them all. 4 all probably get a red shirt. They're great.
Okay.
They like it here. They're grateful for being here. I love them. We had 11 returners who I love to death. And I brought in 2 JC guys and I brought them in because they wanted to be here. This is what they want. They chose us because with everything out on the table, this is what we choose. And I'm good with that. But I'm not your stepping stone for your individual glory. Sorry, that's not what I am. You can come get a great coaching experience, have a great basketball experience. I'm going to give you a ton of gear. I'm going to take care of you. You're going to have great relationships. You're going to get an education. I can go on and on and on and on and on.
Sure.
I don't have any NLI money. Like I don't have that. I'll clear up that real quick. So I just thought, this is where I'm at. Like, this is who I am, and I got to coach that.
I love it. That's great. That's a great message. And I think you'll find, kids, and you'll build a team that buys in. And that's critical.
I love my guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I got to address something that you said earlier, Trev. You're playing zone. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So great question. Okay. It's not really zone.
It's a matchup.
It's a matchup. But so like when I was at Sanborn, we had a matchup. It was Mike Dunlap's matchup.
Great.
Mike Dunlap matchup.
Great coach.
Great coach. Brilliant. And we would run it, and it was great. But what happened is as it evolved over time, it became kind of zony. Okay. Our matchup became kind of zony, and I don't like it because zony, now you can start preparing. You lose some accountability. Okay, right? You lose some kind of accountability, and guys shifting, handing off things, and then you lose some guys, and it pisses me off. So when I was at San Fran, we had a matchup, and we ran it that year where we ended up, I believe we finished 22nd in the country that year when I was West Region Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
But it was awesome, but it was super good. We finished, I think, 6th in the country defensively. Like, we were monsters. It was really good. A lot of man concepts, though. Ton of man concepts.
Sure.
Everything's man-to-man based. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, I didn't want that to slip through. So I just heard, I think in the same sentence, zone and coach of the year.
No, you're right. No, yeah, right. But it was the man concepts that carry us. So like when I got here, I went matchup, and then I got away from it from man to man again. I love that. But then now we're kind of back at the matchup. But I've evolved it again where it'd be hard to recognize what we're in, basically. You would go, what are they doing there? What is going on there? Like, what's happening here? It kind of disrupts flow. But like a team like Saturday, we played Point Loma.
Mm-hmm.
So Point Loma's super skilled, super shooters everywhere. Bunch of UW running around, wow, like 3 balls everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So we were in our matchup. We're handing some stuff off, certain cuts here and there. Don't want to get too deep into it, switching some stuff. And so they go stationary, very simple. They get very stagnant. And so, because now they just want to pop it around, make you
right.
Switch. So we shift into non-bump situations. So now we're man-to-man. So now all they're running is a slot on ball the whole second half. Like the whole second half. It's a slot on ball, 4-out slot on.
So it's a pick and roll in the slot.
And all we're doing is icing the slot on ball and funneling it in. So we're man to man. Like we're just icing it and funneling.
And just forcing sideline.
Not letting them reverse the ball.
Yep.
They're sliding their big down or popping him, and we're matching him with the 5. We're man to man. And they ran the same thing the whole second half. And we damn sure, we were down 20-something the first half. We damn sure cut it to 2 with about 4 minutes to go. And they ended up only scoring 67 points. But that's kind of what I mean. Like, it's kind of, we were man to man. Shit, we were man to man.
Fluid. Yeah, it's fluid. Yeah.
Fluid.
Yeah.
And we talk about that. Adaptable, right? Adjust. So we're going to continue. You're going to come run whatever you run. We're going to scout it, and we're going to adapt and adjust. And eventually what you run is not going to work. And because of whatever we're doing, and we have lots of different ways to guard things.
Well, so Trev, Duffy and I have this running kind of joke where, I mean, we talk about zones negatively, or I do, but that's more at the youth level, right? Like when you're seeing CYO teams that are sitting in a zone, those kids are not learning how to play, right?
Not learning at all.
So when you talk about your effective zone has man-to-man principles, understanding the importance of help side and deny and communication, and you're not just guarding, a paint, right? So
right. So like Duff, you'll appreciate this, and Dave, you will too. We use the term accountability. You're always accountable. Like, I don't care where you are, you're guarding somewhere, somebody.
Yes.
So let's go 5 out. Let's go 5 out.
Great way to put it. Yeah.
All right. we hit the wing. We hit the wing and the low corner, right? Because you're 5 out. Reverse, right? Our wing gets down. Our guards you look like you're in a 2-3 zone, right? You look like you're in a 2-3 zone, right?
Yeah.
But in man-to-man, you'd look like you're in a 2-3 zone too, because you'd be overloading the quad. You'd be ball side, low hole coverage with weak side got 2. Like you would be in man-to-man.
Of course.
Man-to-man would be the same thing. But your low hole coverage is basically covering the weak side corner. That's his rule. Unless it's a skip, because if it's a skip, the weak side wing has 2. So those are the only people say man, people say zone. It's not. Yeah. It's
right.
It's help side, non-help side. It's ball, guarding the ball, guarding one pass away, not guarding the ball. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just man. That's what we do in man-to-man. Man-to-man, you hit the wing, you hit the corner, we drop in. We got low hole coverage. I've got a high hole. I've got weak side help. Like I'm bluff for cover. I'm stunt. I'm help the helper. Oh, hit that gap, show, high bump. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same concepts. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So, Dave, I think we may have discussed it before, but every good man-to-man requires some good zone principles, and every zone requires some good man-to-man principles, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to use this one, Trev. I like that accountability concept.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because I was like, even last year, like our San Domenico team, and we would be scouting a zone. And so we'd have our second team run the zone as a scout team. We would constantly emphasize that you're guarding a player. You're even in a zone. You're always responsible for a player. So accountability is a great way to put it.
Sometimes 2. Sometimes it's 2.
Sometimes it's 2, right?
Sometimes it's 2, right? Sometimes it's 2, yeah.
All right. As I figured, we could talk to Trev for about 7 hours, but Duff, I know you don't have a ton of time. Trev's got to get to film, so let's go to crunch time, Trev.
Okay.
And I might not make it all the way through crunch time because I do have another conflict here, Dave. So I want to stop, pause, and say thank you to Coach Trev. This was awesome. I love your energy. Yep. We could talk about energy all day long. It energizes me, and I can't wait to have you come talk to our guys at Archie and look up at some of those banners up on the wall.
I would love that, and I'll shoot you a text, and we'll try and figure out a time that I can do that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Trev, this is consistent. So Duffy's the scorer. He gets buckets. He's more busy. I do the dirty work. I set screens. I got no place to go, Trev.
Right.
So I got plenty of time.
I play with a lot of guys like that.
Make it an extended crunch time, Dave, please.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. All right. This first question is going to be too easy. Favorite gym in Marin, Trev?
Oh, Drake Gym, without a doubt. I might be the small gym too. It might be the small gym because that's where all the work got done.
So there's a group of guys who play pickup on Friday mornings, and my attendance has been very bad. But last week there was like, all right, we're playing in the small gym, and I was like, first of all, it's great for old guys because the small gym you don't have to run as much, so it's more efficient. But second, just the memories in that gym are so vivid for me. Yeah, I love that gym.
Yeah.
All right, toughest player you ever played against?
Well, okay, can we go Drake Summer League?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, there's so many great players in the Drake Summer League, but like the toughest player I've ever played against is Bucky Chavez. He scared the crap out of me. And in the most respectful way. Like his elite IQ and anticipation and the way that he moved on the court and the way he thought the game while moving at such a rapid pace totally stunted me on the court. Like it stunted me. Like I didn't want to dribble the ball. I didn't want to pass the ball. I didn't want to do anything. Like, cause he was everywhere.
He's just absolute legend. We have a running joke that every episode of this podcast, and we've done 45 or something, his name comes up.
Yeah.
And it's for that reason. I mean, for me, I played with him in an adult league one time, and I was I was a high schooler, and he went out of his way to make sure I got shots. Because I wasn't a scorer, but he would like force me to shoot and trying to build confidence. I mean, Bucky's he's incredible. Delosio talked about this too, that, it's like Buck doesn't say, hey, do you want to go play? He's like, hey, do you want to have a sweat? It's like something spiritual for him. Yeah, basketball's spiritual for Bucky.
It's crazy though, Dan, because he would probably feed you jumper, encourage you to shoot him.
Yeah.
And then when the game got tight, he would just get to the elbow, hit a bucket,
take over.
Hit 10-finger push-ups, and then say next. I mean, like it was like, what's happening right here? Like,
yeah, and he had like one sock on, I think he was eating a burrito while he was playing. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Favorite coaches you've learned from?
It goes on and on and on and on. So like Pete Hayward obviously set the foundation.
Yeah.
I think Doug was just a brilliant tactician, organizer.
Absolutely.
Like his mind is so fantastic, like in detail in basketball, like he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Getting to work with Scaldo, he was passionate like no other, like cared a lot. Coach Matthews was toughness and like that whole, like, we're going to compete thing. And I just drank that Kool-Aid up. Like, I could just sip it. Jeff Oliver was one of the greatest winners of all time that I've ever worked with. Like that guy could win at any level, anytime, all the time. Taught me about winning. And then as I've evolved, I started studying a lot of Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
Because I thought he's brilliant too. Understanding of who he is as a coach and what he's trying to do. And Jay Wright, when he was at Villanova and how he built it. Like, and just kind of an understanding of like, this is who I am. This is what I want to coach. And this is what I'm going to do.
Great answers. You know, Jay Wright, I watch or have my kids watch all the time, just playing off 2 feet, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Villanova, the fundamentals, just so great. And Shaka Smart, great energy. It was great. I asked Prib this question, and one of the names that he mentioned was Buzz Williams, who is also great. You know, just has, and just that authenticity, right? And it's the same style that you have. You are who you are, right? And just kind of be yourself.
Yeah.
It's a great message. You know, speaking of little adjunct to crunch time. So let's talk about your coaching tree. So I mentioned Pribble, you got Dave Granucci. Just discuss those guys, discuss your thoughts on having players who learn from you, who you mentored, who are not now coaches, amazing coaches.
Nemo over at San Francisco State.
Yep.
We have Rich up at Sonoma State. Like
Shaywitz.
Yeah, it's like brilliant guys everywhere. They're all way better coaches than me. Shoot. Pribble is great. All right, you gotta talk about the Pribble story. You've already done.
Please. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He's been on here. He's been great.
I Pribble absolutely love. So we always have this thing, you're either in my world or you're not in my world. Like, cause when we're basketball coaches, it's like, you gotta, like you got so many things happening. Like you either got to be in my world, like in my time frame, or like, I just got to keep going because we got so many things happening.
Yeah.
So like we would have that conversation and we met at what is that bar? Because he was coaching at Tam High School at the time. What is that bar in Mill Valley? Come on, help me.
The 2 a.m. club?
2 a.m. club, right? And so I was like, we sat there and we talked and I just lost my assistant. And I was like, I knew I wanted Prep. Like, he's great. Like, he's the best. And I was like, you know, like, hey, like, you got to give this a shot. Like, you got to, like, his lineage from Cal, with how good of a coach he is, with how good of a person he is, with the way he can motivate. Like, I was like, you got to come like 2 years, maybe 3, and you're going to skyrocket, dude. Like, you're going to fly. Like, you don't need to stay with me long. You need to get in and go. And sure enough, he got picked up. And then, like, look at him. I know D1, like, but that's just a stepping stone. Like, I tell everybody, like, he's going to win there too. He's just got to figure out in this new era how to keep guys. Right. He's going to win there too. And it's like, he's going to win. Like, he wins. He's a winner. Like, there's certain dudes that might not be right away. But he's going to solve the riddle. It's like, click, let's go. And
for sure.
And like, he's the next great one. I always call it. Like, he's the next. Great. Like, he's just so good. Sorry. I have so much respect for him.
I love him. No, he's one of my favorites.
Oh my God. Nuge is another one. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Let's get that guy in the college game. Let's get him. He's doing just fine. But like, another brilliant mind, another great coach, understands his clarity, knows what he's doing, can relate to so many guys, great demeanor to him, sets a clear expectation. The greatest thing about Nuge is that he's so easygoing, like as an assistant or as a buddy, as your whatever. But when he's that head guy, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, for sure.
Clear. It's clear. His team knows it's clear. And he's great too. I mean, someday again, we'll be hearing about him too. There's no doubt.
So I one fun thing is, like, I go back and re-listen to some of these episodes. So we had Dave on last year, Granucci, and he had several things that I go back to. Like, took notes on. Like this one with you, I'm going to have several things that I'm going to steal from you. But he's the one who said, there's a difference between competing and playing hard, right? Which is it's a simple concept. A lot of coaches say it, but it's such a good reminder that, like a lot of kids think they're playing hard, but they're not really competing. Like boxing out, that's playing hard. Competing is boxing out, going and getting the ball, being strong with it, not turning it over, And I just thought that Dave Granucci just has this ability to convey those things in a really simple, straightforward way. I just think he's awesome.
Yeah.
Love him.
Then in Glenmire, SF is loaded. Like he does a great job. He's brilliant too. Like, he's got that place. He's still building it and he's still got it going great. Like he's incredible. Probably took it to the next level. And then Rich at Sonoma has done amazing things. Like they put such a great product out there. And Rich and I worked together. I was the head coach, but it's funny when he was young, he played for us his freshman year, he redshirted. And then sophomore year, he became like a student manager / he had a weird role. Like it was a totally role, but all he did was drive around with me everywhere we went. And we just talked hoop. He was like my shadow. So he's kind of like my little brother, but he's so good at what he does. He's brilliant.
That's great. Well, you continue to inspire the next generation, right? And that's you're giving back. You're giving back. All right, Trev, favorite Drake outdoor court teammates. Let's say you're going to play pickup on the old Drake outdoor courts. You and 4 guys. Who are you?
I can't remember all that. But 4 guys, that's so long ago. What are we talking about here?
Well, who would be your
Sandal. I'm picking up Pat Sandal.
There you go. It's not that hard.
Sandal, I'm picking up Pat for sure. Because I know he's going to compete. We're going to hang out afterwards. I love that guy. Yeah. That's the only one. I don't know who else, but I'm picking up Pat Sandal.
You don't want a post player? You don't want Tom Poser down low? Come on.
Post got good late. I take Poser any day of the week right now. Poser he's probably better now than he was when he was 25.
He's really good.
He's like a super freak. He's like continually getting better. Like it's like some kind of weird thing. I don't get it, but he's just.
I know it's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying. All right, Trev, you're up 3, 6 seconds left. Their ball. Are you fouling or no?
Yeah, we're going red at 4 when they're dribbling it up. We're going to foul. I'm not going to get foul. Buzzer. Yeah, we're going to foul. Put our big guys in a block out.
I like it.
It's an easy one.
I agree. So
you do it long enough. If you don't foul, it's going to get you.
Okay, but we're going to at 4 seconds. That's when you want to do it.
I'm trying at 4. Well, it depends on where the ball is, obviously, right?
Yeah.
We always talk about 4 and under.
Okay.
Then it's foul, then it's over, basically. Like,
right.
They're going to foul, and then it's over. But, 6 is risky, but I'll probably do it at 6 too. I'll probably do it at 6. Just because, we've had a guy miss in a West Regional, catch it in the paint, dribble out to the 3-point line and huck it.
Oh, no.
You're like, oh, that was great.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not doing that again.
Isn't coaching fun? All right, last one.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant in Turlock?
Dust Bowl Brewery. If you're ever driving down the 99, go to Dust Bowl Brewery. You get the Okie nachos. They're delicious. You can get the ahi poke nachos, the burger. You get the peanut butter and jelly burger. They got their own beer. It's solid. You can see it right on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Maybe they could sponsor our podcast.
Hey, you can come stay with me, man. We'll do it.
All right. Give me a room in your place, Trev. Hey, man, this has been so fun. It's so good to see you. So we'll be rooting for Stan State. Are you guys playing Dominican this year?
No, we are not. We're going to the Sonoma tournament next weekend. We have Western Oregon and Y Pacific.
Great.
We didn't get the match with Dominican this year. We just couldn't figure it out.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll be rooting for you. You got to come speak to the Archie team. You promised Duffy you'd do it. And thanks for everything you do, buddy. Great to see you.
Hey, Dave, I'm honored to be on your show. I've been envious of all the others before me. And no, seriously, I was like, God, I love Marin County. I love Dave. I want to be on that show. It make me so cool. And there's so many players. No, like these are all the guys that I grew up with. This is the history. This is what I'm from. I don't forget that ever. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And we've talked about having episodes, maybe an episode specifically dedicated to the Lavin Camp. We should do a Lavin Camp, Pirate Camp retrospective
Oh yeah.
because the amount of talent and impact that those camps and those people, you included, have had on Marin basketball is just so meaningful to the community. So stay tuned. We'll have you back on. All right, brother. Do not touch. Don't touch any buttons.
I'm here. I'm gone.
All right. Thanks, Trev.
All right.
Are you changing that philosophy based on the fact that he's a left-handed guy that maybe could get middle to strong hand? Are there exceptions, or you're gonna have this rule and you don't want to confuse things by thinking about individual players?
So does Colin Hamilton listen to this? Because I know Stevie Johnson does.
Everyone listens to this, and you know that I'm a coach at Archie, so you know that I'm like thinking.
We had a great game last year at our MLK, that double overtime game. That was one of the best games of the year. If Gio catches the ball, if a lefty, let's go lefty,